Okay, today we're going to be looking at the Who classic Love Ain't for Keeping off of Who's Next. There are several versions of this song. The version on Who's Next features Pete playing the fills and the lead on an acoustic. And what I'm going to do for you first here is to attempt to play along to the song, the original, while kind of covering both parts, the rhythm and the lead. Obviously I'm on an electric. I'm going to be trying to play the Pete acoustic fills and solo along with the rhythm part, and then afterwards I will break all of it down for you and explain how it relates to Pete's style and how you can use the licks in other songs and so forth. So here we go. Alright, well, clearly not perfect, but again, just to get the idea of some of those licks in context with the original. So let's start with breaking it down. The beginning of the song is classic Pete. He launches with a G note onto an A chord. And then he plays a little lead on the acoustic, which is, as are most of the fills and leads in this song, in the A major pentatonic scale. So the A major pentatonic scale is, to refresh your memory, the same notes as the F sharp minor pentatonic scale, and that's because F sharp minor is the relative minor to A major. Okay? So he launches and he just goes down the scale and he does this little, I can't do it very well obviously, but a couple of times both here and in the solo he does this little kind of rapid fire picking thing that's hard to do, but something like that. He's basically just, and this chord, as we've seen in other Pete Townshend lessons, is one of his favorites. It is, of course, the A major, picking up the other two notes from this form of the A major. it's a big Pete chord. So then the main chords of the song of Love Ain't for Keeping are very simple. G, D, which alternates with D sus2, which you're lifting up that middle finger on the first string, second fret. So playing the open E from the F sharp to the E. So again, resolving to that A. And after the second time, it goes to the D. Lay down. So we've got a G, a D, a D sus2, an A, a C, really simple chords in this song. Okay, so the fills. First time around, when he's over the D, he goes all the way up to the octave of the D of the first position D shape. That exact same shape, take it up to 14th and 15th frets. And then he does this sweet descending lick, which is very similar to the ones we saw in the Van Morrison lesson. All kinds of other lessons I've shown you. This one, the George Harrison, She's a Woman solo. Right before the Lay Down Beside Me, or Lay Down My Darling on the C, he goes. So you're just first and third strings, 9th fret, 7th fret, and then when it goes to the 5th fret, it's 5th and 6th. That's your A chord form, right? So he does that all 3 times. The middle time, it's not exactly that, but it's close enough. He comes down to the Love Ain't for Keeping. He goes. Again, we're mainly in that A major pentatonic, bending that C up to the C sharp, which is in that scale. And then he does this. First and 5th string, like a C chord, down to the 2 notes of a D chord, and then an A chord. So that's the end of the first verse. Then Black Ash from the Foundry, etc. And then when it goes back to the D, this time he goes back to that same place, 14th and 15th fret, and he plays an arpeggio of a D sus4. Okay, it's a chord you know. Right? It's just playing it an octave up, and it sounds really sweet. And then now he does so we're going up to the 12th fret. We're playing the first 2 notes of an A minor chord, if you want to look at it that way, or of a C shape, D shape of the C chord. Okay. Playing an E and a C, and then going down to the 9th and 10th frets, same shape, which is of course part of an A chord. movable D shape of an A chord. So, and then barring first and second strings at the 7th fret, barring the 3 middle strings, 4, 3, 2 at the 5th fret, which would be a C chord, and then turning it into an A chord. He does some different little things in here, but this is an approximation. Okay, he does that like 4 times, because he does the Love Ain't For Keeping thing twice, leading into the solo. The solo is up here at the 10th position, A major, again pentatonic up here, and we're doing that same kind of pedal steel bend that we saw in the last lesson, the Van Morrison lesson we've seen in lots of lessons. So you're taking your ring finger at the 12th fret B string, you're bending it up, and you're catching that E note, 1st string, 12th fret with your pinky. He does that 3 times, both go rounds in the solo. That's that other time he does that little funky picking thing. So again, 3 times with the bend. And he's just playing this 11th fret 3rd string note with the middle finger. So your ring finger, you're just sliding it up to the 14th on that B string and back down. And then he hits that again. Very few notes in this solo, and then back to the. And then he kind of slides down a few more notes out of that A major. So that was 10, 7, 5, 2. And then he just plays some kind of indistinct fills. I just kind of played some stuff out of that progression, and then we're back to the D. He kind of just hangs on the D a little bit. I did something funky like that that's not really in the original. It's more like the version that's on Odds and Sods, but that's that lick that we saw again in Give Me 3 Steps, and we saw a little bit of it in Wild Night with Van Morrison. A country kind of pedal steel lick. And then right at the end he does a little just hard to get the timing right because there's a pause obviously between the end of the song and that little closing lick, but it's similar to the opening lick where he's just going down that A major pentatonic. So that's a very rough overview of Love Ain't For Keeping. Again, the chord progression is simple. If you have 2 people playing, it's much easier, of course, because the person playing the leads and fills is a lot more free. So forgive again my sloppiness on that demo, and also forgive the poor camera quality. This is first time recording in the evening, and my lighting situation is not ideal. And I'm also on the iPod Touch again. We'll see how that works out. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, incorporate these licks into your playing, and keep hitting that Pete Townshend stuff because it's gold. It's gold, baby. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.